All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I have told you, fine folks, many times on this channel that this is an engineering channel and I am an inventor. I constantly build things and experiment with things, and sometimes that comes with a price tag. Now, I also got myself a nice hat and shirt. Canadian Tire can be awesome sometimes. They had the hat alone, if I'd have gone to Realtree, probably would have cost me right around the $20. But they got awesome deals sometimes, and if you go and look, you can get really good deals. This hat and the shirt were together as a bundle for $20, 19.99. So that was an awesome deal. I couldn't say no to that. So this bill would be $20 later, but still, for a cheap DIY bow, it's $100 for the treatment, guys. This stuff here, just some basic brushes, but they got the metal handles and they're decent brushes for what I'm about to do. This is the material I'm using. Now, this looks to be a very similar formula to what I used to make. In fact, what it's advertising is exactly what I made my formula for, and I want to see if it's as good as my old formula. Now, the real trick to this is you can't just buy the $60 material because it's pretty thick, and it's designed to really, really increase the strength of wood as much as possible while remaining hard and flexible, like a bowling ball floor should be, or like a boat hull. This is thinner. Now, you really need thinner because what ends up happening is the thinner mixes with the paint, and when you thin it out, you basically can control how much of the material you're using, and you can thin it out to get the poundage that you want. So I am about to sit down with a bow and start to treat it. But I wanted to warn you guys before you go any further in this series, guys. Please be aware that between the $100 in materials you're going to need in order to proceed past this point, up until now, it's been a very cheap bow. And if all you wanted to do was have a cheap survival bow, you have it already at this point in the build series. Don't go any farther. You have a painted bow that works. It'll eventually rip itself apart, but use it within its safe limits, like I taught you. Make arrows that are appropriate for its safe usage, and you will do just fine, and you will have more than enough use out of it to last you through a camping trip. However, fail to do that, and you may find your favorite bow quickly abandons you because you have misused it. Now, what I want is something more solid. What I want something more like a traditional bill with a more solid back wall that is tougher, longer lasting, and much, much more durable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this stuff unthinned onto the riser and get as much of it inside the riser as I can. I don't care if it's a takedown bow. It's very small. I decided for strength, I'd rather just have it be strong and long lasting than anything else. This is why I'm doing this, because I really love this little bow. Anybody who's been watching the videos on it will tell you that it's really, really accurate, and they're not wrong. It's an awesome little bow in perfect poundage. I don't want to wreck it, and I don't want it to wreck itself. To me, having this bow at this point, it must have cost me, I don't know, maybe $20 to build it. And it's one of the nicest short bows I've ever had. And for that kind of money, folks, I am deeply impressed. You see me zooming in and out on that price tag. Because in total, this bow, just to treat it and buy it out of the pits and build it, would cost you between $150 and $200. If you bought all the components new and built it, at least $200. And so for that kind of money, you could just go buy yourself a bow. If you are looking to do that, just go do that. Don't go any further with this process. You can stop right here. You have a good bow. Use it as long as it lasts and start saving your money. And if you use it gently, it should last you until you can save up enough money to buy your new bow. That being said, I don't want that. I grew up making my own bows and having them be quality enough that they could shoot for 30 years. I want to know if these are going to be that kind of quality. And so the only way I'm going to find out is to shoot one after I've treated it and followed my process that I used on wood bows and see if it's half as good on this stuff. And if it is, I got a formula that will last for many years to come. And you could make your own bow to your own specifications really easily, really cheaply. And then once it starts breaking in, treat it once you've seen that it's ready and that it's worth your money. Unlike a brand new bow where you buy it for $300, take it home and it shatters and they say, no, that's your fault, and don't cover it. That happens a lot, guys. At least with this, I'm making it myself. I can test it before I spend the real money to treat it and make sure. I've broken 2 already. If I'd have treated those, they would have been a waste of money, guys. They would have broken eventually, and I'd have spent my $100 for nothing. I don't want that. Right now, I've got a couple of really good bows that are at really nice poundages that shoot really nice. I'm going to treat all 3 of those and see how it goes and work on my thinning techniques and basically do some samples and see how they go. And the first sample is going to be the strongest bow, that is the shortest bow. So in the next video, you guys will see the treated bow, and it will be shooting because I'm about to sit down and get to work. I'm actually going to treat it bowed. I'm going to treat the string as well, but with a heavily thinned solution that won't be nearly as strong as what you will see on the other bows. This one will get the same treatment because it's already as strong as I would ever want it. But these two can both get a little bit stronger, and I would be happy to see it. So that's going to happen, and I'll use a thickened version, well, a thicker version on those, and then paint multiple layers to get the strength I want. That way, the thinner version will be more flexible than the standard formula, but still have the hardness I want. And then I can very precisely build it up. With this stuff, it's really the best way to tiller it is to do one thin layer, let it dry, see how it feels. So I'm going to do a thick layer down here, from here back, to really brace all this and lock it all in. I'll pour some in and get it locked right in. That'll be unthinned or just barely thinned. I'll use a little to make that gallon go farther because it is real expensive. And I don't think I'm going to need it to be full strength for this job. In fact, the CA glue seems to have done a good enough job. All I want to do now is seal all that in and make it solid. So I want to make a nice seal in here all the way around so that it's not taking on water. And I want to fully waterproof the whole thing because if it's not going to be takedown, I want it to be fully sealed so it's a good survival bow. I'm even going to treat the string. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. If you've seen the last videos, you know this is already a killer little bow at 55 pounds, shooting 300 feet plus feet per second. It's about to get better. Stay tuned, and I'll show you how. Keith out.